Senator Barrasso.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, nice to see you again. The American people are facing significant issues here at home, tight budgetary environment, and you're requesting $1.3 billion for the Global Climate Change Initiative. As legislators, we're constantly searching to find the resources to help many people around the country, communities who are dealing with unemployment, with aging water systems, with poor roads, substandard hospitals, failing schools. So how do we talk to people at home and say that the real priority of the administration is sending $1.3 billion taxpayer dollars overseas to international bureaucrats in the name of climate change, rather than dealing with these issues at home?
Very simple answer. The American people are extremely practical, enormous common sense about things that affect them. You pick up the newspaper today and you read about the flooding that people are suffering directly as a result of climate change. That flooding costs those taxpayers money. We spent billions of dollars last year. I forget what it was, $8 billion, I think, in reaction to storms in the United States, which are of greater intensity as a result, according to the scientists, of the impacts of climate change.
So Barbara Boxer, a member of this committee, would agree with that, but then I'm saying, why aren't we spending the money here? She says climate change is an issue relating to wildfire and drought, storms, and so it's $1.3 billion to protecting.
We are spending some.
And the question is, why aren't we spending it here rather than sending it overseas to bureaucrats?
Because there are 20 major nations in the world that account for about, the vast majority of the majority, put it that way, because the less developed countries are now growing in their emissions as a result of their own developing practices. But the result is, if we don't help some of these countries that have no money, that are burning coal without any kind of restraint on how they burn it, we regrettably are going to also suffer. So it's in our self-interest to help these countries to make better choices about what their energy future is going to be. It also, by the way, opens up jobs for Americans, because we are the most advanced with respect to most of those energy technologies. So we could be actually creating more jobs for Americans as a result of getting countries to invest more thoughtfully in their energy future. But they can't afford to do it on their own. So what we're doing is actually helping people to make a transition to a clean energy future, which is good for everybody. This is going to be, there'll be $50 trillion, Senator, spent on the whole gamut of energy choices in the next 20, 30 years. That's jobs for people all over the world. This is going to be the single biggest market the world has ever seen. And so I think this is an extremely smart investment in our security as well as in our economy. And I think when Americans are presented that choice, Americans, in fact, they already are, overwhelmingly in support of our doing something about climate change.